आदि भाष्यादेशधारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। We are reading from Srimad Bhagavad Gita as it is, chapter 12, text number 16. Anapeksha suchirdaksha udasino gadavyataha sarvaramba parityagi yo madbhakta same priyaha. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. A devotee who is not dependent on the ordinary courses of activities, who is pure, expert, without cares, free from all pains, and who does not strive for some results is very dear to me. So, in this section, we are reading the qualities of devotees, which makes the devotee very dear to Krishna. So, Krishna mentions some of those qualities here. Anapeksha, Suchirdaksha. Anapeksha means there's no apeksha, it's very neutral, there's no expectations. Suchihi. Suchi means very pure, very clean. Daksha, expert. Udasin. Udasin means neutral. Gata from any kind of vyatha, distress. He is free from all the distress, all the lamentations. And then Sarvaramba Parityagi, and then he renounces all endeavors. And Yoma Bhakta Samepriyaha. Krishna is saying that devotee is very dear to me. So let us understand now one by one what is the real meaning of all these words. Anapekshaha. So Prabhupada explains here in the purport, the devotee, uh, money may be offered to a devotee, but he should not struggle. So he is not against acquiring money, but devotee understand that I should be doing my regulated duties in a disciplined manner, but unnecessarily I should not be struggling to acquire money. So that way he is anavekshaha, as our scriptures guides us or acharyas guides us to progress on the spiritual path. There are some principles has been mentioned in the scriptures. The six principles to advance, to progress, which are very favorable. Usaha nishya dharya tat karma purvartanat. And then there are some principles has been mentioned which is very deteriorating for our spiritual progress. So there it is said that uh, atyahar prayasya prajalpo niyamagraha. So one of the item which hinders our progress, spiritual progress, is prayasa. Prayasa means over and ever. Prayas generally translated as endeavor, but here prayasa means over endeavor. So devotee, he never does the over endeavor to acquire any kind of material possessions. He is not against all those material things, but he does not over endeavor. Now, how do you define that this is our endeavor? At what point you say that this is becoming our endeavor now? I'm just doing my endeavors. I'm working 8 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours. So when do you say this is our endeavor now? So it is very simple that if we are doing the endeavor, which is basically at the cost of sacrificing, compromising our spiritual practices, then we should think it is our endeavor. If you can balance your work life, your personal life, and your most importantly your spiritual life, then it is a balanced way of doing it. So devotee never does the our endeavor. He always understand. He is situated in that knowledge uh, that Krishna will take care of me. Ananya chintayando mam ye jana paripasade. Tesham nityabhiyuktanam yogakshemam vahamyaham, as Krishna promises that one who is engaged in my seva, ananya chintayando mam, constantly remembering me, chanting my holy name, engaged in my seva, to that person, to that devotee, I provide what they lack and I preserve what they have. So devotee is situated in that understanding always. So he doesn't worry too much about, all the possessions and acquiring money and all of that. So he does not over endeavor. He is not dejected on not receiving too much, and is not also agitated on receiving too much. He remains very neutral. Right? So this is what the devotee is. Wherein you see the non-devotee, the ordinary person in this material world, their whole endeavor is after Lakshmi, after money. You know, the money is a big factor in this world, is a driving force. Everybody wants money. So non-devotee is after Lakshmi, but devotee is not after Lakshmi. He's after Narayan. So this is very important point to understand
Srijata,
here, that
Srida,
devotee understand the goal of
Srida,
life is not Lakshmi. Goal of life
Eda,
is Narayan. And when you chase Narayan, when you try to please Narayan, serve Narayan, the Lakshmi is already there. Lakshmi is always sitting at the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord Narayan. So anyone who's trying to serve the Narayan, and Lakshmi ji is also trying to serve the Narayan, she will be very happy to assist a devotee if it is needed to serve Krishna, the Supreme Lord. Right. So devotee always uh, try to please the Supreme Lord, try to achieve the grace of the Supreme Lord, then simply after Lakshmi. Devotee is not interested independently. Right? So, and also, devotee always understand that, as said in the scriptures, Lakshmi is Chanchala. Chanchala means it does not stay at one place. So, if you acquire also Lakshmi, there is no guarantee that it will always be there with you. So, this is the nature of Lakshmi. Just keep moving. So, devotee voluntarily he understands that anyway Lakshmi will just move. So, better give it to Narayan in the service of the Narayan. And then, when it is offered in the service of the Supreme Lord, then Lakshmi also becomes very pleased and then shower more and more blessings on the devotee. So this is the understanding. And this is the Krishna consciousness philosophy. This is the purpose of Krishna consciousness. So Prabhupada explains in one place that Krishna consciousness means or endeavor to unite Lakshmi with Narayan, like Hanumanji. So Hanumanji's endeavor was how to bring Sita back in the service of Lord Ram, Lakshmi and Narayan. On the contrary, there is Ravana. Ravana has kidnapped Sita, abducted Sita, taken away Sita from Ram. So he doesn't care about Ram. He is only interested in Sita. So you see, the people in this material world, they are not interested in Narayan. They are only interested in Lakshmi. They don't care about Narayan. So that mentality is Ravana mentality. That is demonic mentality. That I want to use Lakshmi. I want to enjoy Lakshmi. Ravana wanted to enjoy Sita. So this is the understanding. So a devotee is always in that consciousness that how I can bring back this Lakshmi in the service of uh, Narayan. In fact, devotee try to liberate Lakshmi. Sometimes Lakshmi is captured by Ravana, like Sita was captured by Ravana. So a devotee always thinks that how can I release Lakshmi and then engage Lakshmi in the seva of the Lord. So devotee do all the endeavors. They go and beg people. They devise various plans that how we can take some money from the people, uh, in the form of some donation or in any form of any seva. So that way, the Lakshmi can be engaged in the service of Narayan, and that way, devotee is blessed, and the person who has released some little Lakshmi, some money is given in the service of the Lord. That person is also immensely get benefited. So this is the understanding here. So this is uh, anapekshaha. And we understand and devotee is always in that consciousness and right understanding that this material prosperity uh, in which whole world is running, and they think okay, we had to become prosperous. It is not Lakshmi. This material prosperity is not Lakshmi, it is Durga. Right? The nature of all this material prosperity is like two sides of the coin. One side is like uh, very rosy, uh, very beautiful picture, but then something else is awaiting. यही संस्पर्शजा भोगा दुःख योनाय वधे. And this material world, all this so-called prosperity is also is the source of misery. And devotee understand. Somebody say, now how it can be misery? We are just enjoying. We are very prosperous. Society is prosperous. Everybody is enjoying. But we understand this enjoyment, independent from the Lord itself, is a misery. Krishna bhuliya jiva bhoga kare. When there's a lot of prosperity is there, then everybody is just engaged in bhoga, in sense gratification. And then when somebody is too much engrossed in sense gratification, then they tend to forget Krishna. And forgetting Krishna is the root cause of all the miseries in this material world. भोग ऐश्वर्य प्रसक्ता नाम तया बहर्त चेतसाम व्यवसायत्मिका बुद्धि समाधवना विद्यते. That person can never have that buddhi, one pointed attention on the Supreme Lord, because he is so lost in that bhoga and Aishwarya. So, this so called Aishwarya in this material world, the so called prosperity itself is a misery. So, see, this material prosperity is a misery. So, that is Durga. Durga is like a warden of the jail, punishing all these prisoners. So, devotee is never after, independently, never after prosperity if it is not in connection with Krishna. He understands this is not Lakshmi, it is Durga. So, you see the same money, the same wealth, the same prosperity, it can act like Lakshmi. Lakshmi means like the mother. She just blesses and then cares. Durga is like the warden. She will punish. So, how do we use that Lakshmi? That will determine how we use our money or our possession. That will determine that it will act like a Lakshmi, which is like the blessings, the grace, the love, and the care, or it may act like a Durga, punishment. So, this is how it is. Right. So, this is anapekshaha. Then devotee is also suchi. Suchi means he is very clean. Now, this cleanliness, Prabhupada explains, it refers to external cleanliness and also, most importantly, internal cleanliness. External cleanliness means the devotee take bath twice or thrice a day. In the Vedic time, the Brahmana used to take bath three sandhya, the morning, afternoon, and the evening. But at least, if it is not possible for three times, one can take two times bath. One is in the early morning, one is in the little late afternoon, and the evening. So, like that, devotee takes bath and keeps themselves very clean externally, and more importantly, they endeavor, constant endeavor to remain clean internally. Internal cleanliness is pure in his intentions. His only intention is to serve Krishna, to please Krishna, no other ulterior motive. So that is cleanliness, and that cleanliness comes by chanting the holy name of the Lord. As Chaitanya Mahaprabhu confirms this, Cheto Darpan Marjanam Bhava Mahadavagni Nirvapanam. So by chanting, Cheto Darpan Marjanam happens, or Chitta or consciousness start to become cleans. So that way, a devotee is always keep chanting the holy name of the Lord, and through the chanting the holy name of the Lord, he remains very pure, very clean internally, and externally also. Through some practices, he maintains that cleanliness. So, anapeksha suchi. Suchi means cleanliness. Anapeksha suchi daksha. Devotee is also daksha. Daksha means he is a very expert. Here Prabhupada explains what is this expert, how a devotee becomes expert, because he knows the meaning of the scriptures. He understands that what the scriptures are saying. He understands the essence. Vedescha sarvar aham eva vedyo. The essence of all the scriptures is to know Krishna, to understand Krishna, to serve Krishna, to please Krishna. So devotee has understood all this and is engaged in that endeavor. He is very expert. He is convinced of authoritative scriptures. He knows the meaning of scriptures. So the devotee is expert, and devotee is expert even materially speaking also. They manages even material affairs very well, very expertly. And especially the devotees, they engages material affairs for Krishna seva, and they understand that whatever I'm able to manage, it is all by Krishna's grace. So yes, devotee is expert, but is expert by Krishna's grace. They're not expert only spiritually, but materially also. They knows that how to handle the things in this world. So it doesn't mean like somebody is devotee and he's chanting, then he's a dumb person. He doesn't know how to handle the materialistic things. He knows very well, you know. And we can see there's many examples. The devotees, they're engaged in various services, which entails, dealing with all kinds of people in this material world. Sometimes some little diplomacy, and some services uh, which includes like doing some business for Krishna. So devotee knows that how to do the business like a business, expert businessman. But it is for Krishna. Money is needed for devotee also to preach the message of Krishna. For that, whatever it takes, they have to do business, they have to plan how to raise funds, and so many other things that needs expertise in every field. In fact, preaching, it needs expertise. Preaching is not just about uh, parrot-like repetition, but it needs expertise that, according to time, place, and circumstances, and the audience, how you should present the message without compromising the principles. That requires a little expertise. And the best example we can think of is Srila Prabhupada. He was such an expert uh, uh, devotee that he's expert in preaching, he's expert in managing. Prabhupada was single-handedly, as an acharya, was managing this worldwide organization. He was traveling, he was writing, he was lecturing, he was answering the letter, training the disciples, managing the finances, guiding them for each and every aspect of organization, long-term plans, his vision, very expertly. An elderly man, 70, 75-year-old man, Srila Prabhupada, but very expertly he was managing 10,000 disciples around the world. Not easy to manage. In a family, we see to manage just two, three people, very difficult. And then he's preaching, he was meeting all kinds of people, you know, people were there. Not that everybody was submissive, many were challenging, but Prabhupada knows how to handle all those, how to refute those challenges, and also at the same time inspire those people to take up Krishna consciousness. Very expert. So devotee is always expert. So Anapeksha Suchir Daksha, expert. One time Srila Prabhupada, uh, his disciples, they brought one very famous car racer. He was very famous at that time, big celebrity. So he came to meet Srila Prabhupada. And then devotees thought that Prabhupada will meet him, Prabhupada will preach him, tell him about Krishna consciousness. And they were very curious that how Prabhupada will preach a person who comes from this background of car racing. So what Prabhupada will speak to him about Krishna consciousness. So they all were very curious. They all sat around, and now Prabhupada is sitting, and this person is sitting in the chair, and all the devotees are sitting very curious to know that how this conversation will go on. And then Prabhupada started to talk about that. So how Prabhupada started was he started asking about what he do and all of that. So this person was very happy to share that, I'm a car racer, and then he was explaining that what he does and what kind of cars he drive and what speed, what power, horsepower. And Prabhupada was also very excited to hear all of those details. Now these devotees were wondering, they're scratching their head that why Prabhupada is taking so much interest in knowing about the make of the car, the model of the car, and the power of the car, the speed of the car, and all the details about the game and all of that. And this person was also very happy that he was sharing, and somebody is taking interest in listening to him, and all of that. And it went on. And all these devotees, they could not understand. They were wondering. We thought Prabhupada will start speaking directly from Bhagavad Gita that you are not the body, you are the soul, and all of that. And then they thought maybe Prabhupada is in a different mood today. So then they thought, okay, uh, let us just go for our services. So one or two of them they gradually started moving out, and because they had some seva. But in the conversation, what happened after listening for a while, then Prabhupada asked a question to this car racer. He asked him that when you drive all these high speed cars, Then there might be some accidents also sometime, right? And this person says, yes, there are some accidents. So then Prabhupada asked, so in those accidents in such a high speed, what is the possibility of a person to survive? And this person, the car racer, he said, uh, extremely low possibility. Like rarely, if somebody meets accident in such a high speed, rarely there is chance that person will survive. If anybody meets an accident with such a high speed, they'll mostly die. And then Prabhupada asked the next question: what happens to that person who dies in the car accident? And this man was clueless. He have no answer. He have no clue that what happens to a person who dies. He said, I don't know. And then Prabhupada has started explaining from Bhagavad Gita. And then Prabhupada spoke at a length. So this is called expertise, that how to preach, how to manage, how to handle. So devotee is naturally in daksha. Anapeksha, suchir daksha, uh, udasin. Udasin means it was neutral, carefree. Prabhupada use the word carefree, careless. It careless means not like that. He is very insensitive. Here it is more of neutral. He doesn't care about this party or that party, some political party. He doesn't, uh, associate himself as, oh, I support this party. He is very neutral. He is interested only that which politician, which party can help us to spread Krishna consciousness. So he's not in support of any political party like that. So he is udasin. And gatavyatha. Gatavyatha means he is free from all the lamentation. He's never he never laments. He knows because he is in knowledge. He has the full faith in Krishna's plan. He understands that Mare Krishna Rakhe Krishna Marege. Whatever Krishna wants to do, Maro bhi Rakho bhi. Jo ichha tohar. Nitya Dasaprati. Uh, so the Acharya is saying that whatever your desire, Maro bhi Rakho bhi. If you want to keep me, keep me. If you want to kill me, kill me. Whatever your ichha, whatever you desire, I am in the soul surrender unto your lotus feet. So with that understanding, because devotee understand that Krishna is my best well-wisher, Surdam Sarvudhanam. Nobody loves me more than Krishna. Everybody knows that. It's a fact. Nobody can love us more than Krishna loves us. So if somebody who loves us, whatever he will do, that will be the best thing for us. So he never laments for if he does not get something. Devotee knows that if I am not getting something despite all my endeavors, maybe this is not good for me. And that is why Krishna is not giving it to me. So he does not lament. He understands that Krishna's plan is the best plan. That is why a devotee is always in this understanding that we see our present and plan our future. But Krishna sees our future and plan our present. So at present, if I'm not getting something, I'm losing something, or something is happening, Krishna has some better plan for us for the future. So with that understanding, with that consciousness, and devotee remains gata vidaha, free from lamentation. And sarvarambha parityagi, he renounced all endeavors. What it means, renounce all endeavors? He's just sitting idly, not doing anything. So Prabhupada says here, explains in the purport, the pure devotee does not endeavor for anything which is against the principle of devotional service. For example, constructing a big building requires great energy, and a devotee does not take to such business, building big buildings and all of that, if it does not benefit him by advancing his devotional service. He may construct a temple for the Lord. For that, he may take all kinds of anxieties, but he does not construct a big house for his personal relationships. So, this is the meaning of renounce all endeavors. For personal sense gratification, he unnecessarily does not put all these extra endeavors. Nobody can live very simply and happily. Simple living, high thinking. So he does not put the endeavor for building big buildings and big business and all of that if it does not help him to advance and his Krishna consciousness. Please note carefully, it is not against building the big building constructing a big building or building a big empire, big business. There's nothing against all of that. The principle is if all of those things does not help us to get closer to Krishna, then what is the point of doing all of that? Devotee is never interested. But for Krishna, a devotee put not 100% endeavor but 200%. He won't leave any stone unturned for the sake of Krishna's seva. They do business and they go to any extent. Sometimes devotee might look externally like an ordinary materialistic person who's always thinking about money, 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 money. Somebody says, "Oh, you're a devotee, you're a sadhu. All the time you are thinking about money only. What kind of a sadhu you are?" But it's not about the money is wrong. It's about uh, the intention, the consciousness, how you want to use that money. So devotee is always thinking this money is Lakshmi and I want to engage the Lakshmi in the service of the Narayan, and to get this Lakshmi I have to work hard. 200% endeavors. But if it doesn't help me in my Krishna consciousness, then I'm not interested in doing all those endeavors. So that is the meaning of Sarvaramba Parityagi, renounce all endeavors. So for Krishna Seva, devotee can go to any extent, even if required to fight, to battle, to fight about war. Devotee is ready for all of that. But for his personal sense gratification, he is happy with simple living and I thinking. So these are the qualities of a devotee which makes a devotee sama bhakta se me priyaha, yo me bhakta sab me priyaha, anapeksha suchi daksha udasino gadavyada sarvaramba parityagi. And if we can develop all these qualities slowly and gradually, and these qualities can be developed just by practicing the principles of Krishna consciousness very carefully, very consciously, then all these wonderful qualities will automatically develop in us, and that will make us more and more uh, dear to Krishna. So these are some of the thoughts on this verse. Anybody has any quick question or any comment, you can unmute yourself and ask the question. And there's no question, we'll stop here. Srimad Bhagavad Gita as